the Pats were going to beat the Saints.
Yeah, I did. And I was wrong, which in many ways I'm happy about. Hi, America. How are you? Welcome back to the Sack. It is a Tokum Tuesday. The redoubtable one himself, Tom Izzo, the highly questionable Andre Milaccio. Segment 1, all things holy fuck. Another one of those what the fuck weekends in football. And we are surrounded by the bliss of Halloween lights.
That's right. Jack the Pumpkin King.
The Milaccio household has once again laid a claim to Halloween supremacy here in the Sack. The gauntlet has been thrown down. Neighbors have been challenged. Kids are crying. Wives rolling their heads. Husbands are pointing weapons at me. I tell you right now, it's going to be a hell of a Halloween. Anyway,
I don't own any weapons.
Anyway. Segment 1, NFL. So we were going around the thing here between fantasy football and the Patriots sucking and the Giants and all this other shit.
The Giants sucking too.
Everybody we care about.
And me having a good week in picks.
In picks. Tommy went off in picks, which we'll go over to see how bad I did. But because why not?
Why not kick the man while he's down?
You can't. First of all, you can't kick me. Hope is on the horizon. There is a championship in my future, I believe. So,
dude, they should be good.
They are going to be better than
they should be really
I think Brad finally figured it out. And when I say that, but we'll get into that later. This is about football. This is about the.
Notice I'm not wearing.
This is about the 1-4 G-men, the 1-4 Patriots. They will play at some point this year in the toilet bowl game. We'll see who's still in the toilet if they've both been flushed already.
What week is that?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it, but I don't know that either one of us wants to watch, quite honestly.
That's going to be a terrible game.
I don't know that any region will have that on TV.
Absolutely terrible game.
I don't think any region is going to have that game on TV the way these two are going, unless something dramatic happens. Man. I'm not sure where to start with this. The Pats have vindicated everything I said about the GM that is Bill Belichick in the past 2 weeks in terms of personnel. They have been out-talented, outclassed, out-everythinged. And Belichick has suffered the worst losses of his career, and he managed to do it back-to-back. So I guess that's historic. His reputation as a coach and GM has come severely into question. Trust me, on the inside I'm smiling as I'm saying this, because I've been saying it for 3 years, that he's nothing without Tom Brady until he proves otherwise. And all he's proven is that he's nothing without Tom Brady. And all the stuff that he got away with. By the way, Shannon Sharp said another thing. He said Tom Brady, the more Bill Belichick bleeps up, the greater Tom Brady looks. That's true. Because as Stephen A. Smith alluded to, and I sent him a text the other day about
20 years.
Since 2013, Bill Belichick has drafted exactly 2 All-Pro players.
Where'd you get that
The last 10 years. Stephen A. Smith.
That's a great stat.
Okay, and the 2 All-Pros were a punter and a punt returner. That's from 2013 to in the midst of all that, Tom Brady went to 5 more Super Bowls and won 3 without getting a single Pro Bowl offensive player drafted or brought to him in that time. Further proof that he is the unquestioned GOAT. And Shannon Sharp is the one who brought that to my attention
If
today.
anybody needs more proof of that, give me a break.
Well, but seriously.
I mean, you're right. What you're saying.
No, but the thing is, what Shannon Sharp, it wasn't me who said it.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp's like, this really, when Stephen A. Smith said that further tells you that Tom Brady was the greatest eraser in all of sports.
That's true.
Because Bill Belichick has fucked this thing up so bad that they are talking ultimatum right now. They being the media up there and down here and everywhere in between about, by the way, this Bash Bill segment brought to you by Cream Soda. Doctor, the good doctor. Thank God. I need a doctor. You know what's going to need a doctor? Mr. Belichick, if he keeps this shit up. Because I'm telling you right now, and even the people that were blaming Mac Jones have started to quiet down because they realize that is the worst roster maybe in the NFL from top to bottom. It might be.
No, that defense is good.
It was. But
those guys are still on the roster.
What's the saying, though, Tom? You put all your eggs in one basket, and what happens? I mean, for a man
sometimes they fall out.
For a man as intelligent as this so-called savant, genius, whatever he is supposed to be, does putting your eggs in one basket sound like something that he would do? if he was as smart as everybody says he is? I mean, of course, he already blew out the water when he hired Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, which Jeff Saturday was so eloquently. Thank you, Jeff. Jeff, I love you. I'll smash pancakes with you anytime, Jeff. Here's that segment.
What does that mean?
The pancake segment? Oh, you haven't seen that?
No. You talked about that last show.
He does this segment on Get Up every Tuesday where they do the pancake segment. He takes like 3 of the best blocks offensive.
I know.
And one pancake.
You explained it last show.
Yeah, I will smash pancakes with Mr. Saturday.
That sounds a little risque.
What, smashing pancakes? Well, I'd rather eat the pancake.
You're going to smash pancakes.
It depends what kind of pancake it is.
You're going to, like, put them on your chest and smash them?
Chest bump, smash pancake? Ooh.
Could get a little yucky.
I don't know about that. Why'd you have to go there?
Well, that was the image.
That wasn't my image.
When you said, I'll smash pancakes with you any day, that was the first thing that popped in my
he
head.
slams them down on the studio floor as he points out these. Dude, there was one lineman.
You told this story on the last show.
No, but there was one line. This one that happened today. You didn't see this one.
Oh, it was today.
He blocked this guy. It was a defensive end. He took him out of bounds, through the cheerleaders, and over a table. It was like one of those Roadhouse scenes where Donnie Brooks about to
Did he get a fucking flag?
No, he didn't. It was unbelievable. I'm like, there was no flag on that play.
Offensive linemen are the dirtiest motherfuckers.
It was a toss, dude.
Life.
It was a toss sweep. Now he comes right across the play, and the back cuts up, and he just keeps going and takes him all the way and sets and going, and almost kills 4 cheerleaders.
Are you sure that wasn't a movie?
No. Just sad. It was the 3 pancake one. It was the last one.
Dude, I'm getting cold. I gotta put my Mets jersey on.
Oh, put your Mets jersey on. I will take it down. Don't knock all the jerseys down while you're doing it.
Moving like a 70-year-old.
You're gonna knock Eli over.
No, I won't.
You're gonna take down Spree. You should have wore a sweater, boys and girls. The temperatures have been dropping here in the Commonwealth at night.
Mistake.
Usually you have at least.
I have to throw my hoodie on.
I thought you had a
But
anyway,
I was late and I ran out of the house.
The point is that Bill Belichick's incompetence is now being called out by the people that rave about him. And that is the best part about this. Because Stephen A. Smith said this, and I quote, Robert Kraft needs to call him into his office and give him an ultimatum. Look, and then this is right after he gave out that stat about 10 years ago. I have no questions or delusions about you as a coach. But from now on, somebody else is shopping for the groceries. With this roster is not up to snuff.
Bill Parcells' line.
But he's right in this case. Because if
Bill Parcells is one of the a-holes that created people like Bill Belichick. Yep. Because Bill Parcells said, you want me to make the meal, but you don't want me to shop. Yeah, not everybody can shop.
Not everybody can shop. And Bill Belichick has proven that with unswerving ability.
Without a doubt.
Okay?
There's a lot of teams that have proven that over and over. He's just been able to hide behind
Tom Brady. Tom Brady. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady, America. For those of you who are sick of hearing his name, here's one more log on the fire.
All right, so take guys like taking Julian Edelman, take a...
it was a 7th-round draft pick.
Danny,
as a quarterback.
Danny Amendola.
He didn't draft him. That was free agency.
Okay. No, but I'm not even talking about that right now. Wes Welker.
Free agent.
I know. Let me get there. Yeah. So many of the different running backs he had back there that he turned into pass catchers.
Yeah, household names. Troy Brown, David Patton, David Givens, 7th round pick.
I'm talking about later.
This is the first part of the dynasty.
Yeah,
when
I'm
they
talking about later.
Tom Brady was doing this in the beginning. Everybody says, the first 3 were on Belichick. The second Super Bowl, that defense gave up 29 points. Tom Brady threw for 391 touchdowns. That was Tom Brady.
All those guys I named were like really, really good players.
When they played with Tom
Without Brady, they weren't, right?
Nope, they weren't.
How good was Wes Welker when they got him? Was he catching 100
was in Miami.
balls? He wasn't catching 100
He was in
balls,
Miami
right?
for 4 years. He primarily was a returner. He was like the 4th option. He's the 4th receiver. You know, he would get receptions, but he wasn't a stat sheet stuffer guy. Tom Brady turned him into
he was the best receiver in the league for a couple years.
Yeah, if Randy Moss wasn't next to him, he would have been.
Right. I mean, he could not cover his ass.
Couldn't cover. And that was after Troy Brown. Tom Brady figured something out that the NFL took decades to figure out. Slot receiver. You know why? Because you know who's covering the slot receiver in most coverages? The 3rd cornerback.
3rd corner.
And Tom Brady figured that out and destroyed.
Or a linebacker.
Or a
sometimes.
linebacker, yeah. And then they drafted Gronk, and they had tight ends before him. But Gronk was obviously 2008. He was the linchpin. Gronk. Gronk was the last great offensive player Belichick drafted. And that was in 2008, 2009.
Well, okay, so this is kind of sick and funny in a way, but he drafted Aaron Hernandez, who was
from a football perspective, he was amazing. Everything else about the man sucks.
Yeah.
And I feel bad. Yeah.
And he probably knew half that shit anyway.
Yeah, everybody lies.
Yep.
So from his college coach to his agent to
Right.
everybody lied.
Yeah.
Any event, the Patriots are at a place where most people didn't think they would be. So now we're hearing words that I never thought I'd hear out of Foxborough, like tank.
Yeah.
There are 12 games to go. Mathematically, they aren't eliminated from anything. How do you just tank or decide you're going to tank? And by the way, if you're going to tank, you're telling your players who are all fighting for jobs to not give it their best. That's kind of a conundrum, isn't it? Well,
There's
play
no way
hard.
England tanks.
They're not going to tank. It's way too soon to tank. And their schedule, believe it or not, is actually going to get easier. But
They're not going to be the worst team in
they're
the league.
not. But the thing is, if they don't fix that offensive line, stop judging Mac Jones. Stop it. Stop blaming this on Mac Jones. Because honestly, Mac Jones can't understand why every other GM in the league, except for the one who's supposed to be the smartest, his employer, won't help him. And if I were Mac Jones, I'd be just as confused as anybody else. Because why is everybody else? Look at that San Francisco Niner team. They spent the money on both sides of the ball. And the Patriots supposedly are worth more than the 49ers. So they have even more money to spend. Even there's a cap, too. So why can other teams do it? Philadelphia can do it. Dallas can do it. I mean, they're the Jets. I mean, not just they have a line, but I mean, the Dolphins can do it.
It's about drafting.
It's about drafting.
Because you look at the Niners,
Yeah. The front seven is
they
all.
didn't buy a bunch of
No, the
guys.
front seven is all draft picks.
Yeah.
5 first-rounders.
Exactly.
The San Francisco, by the way, you want to know why Dallas got pistol whipped? Because they had 5 first-round picks in the front seven, and they all play like first-round picks. That's why Dallas got pistol whipped. Okay, we'll get into that later.
But
anyway.
then you have Ayuk Debo
Yep.
draft,
Yep.
and then you have pieces here and there like
McCaffrey.
Trent Williams,
Yep, Trent Williams, they brought in.
McCaffrey.
Best lineman in the league.
best left tackle in the league.
Yeah.
And I think they got him. It wasn't crazy because he was unhappy in Washington.
Yeah, he wasn't staying.
So
He got a big deal.
right,
Wasn't it?
right. Then they traded for McCaffrey. Who did they trade for another running back? Or
don't
they
remember.
traded away a running back.
They traded
maybe
somebody away.
Jeff
I
Wilson to
think.
Miami.
Yeah.
But
no,
they know how to build a
the point
team.
is, the Patriots have the means to do this. They don't have the brain power to do it. And that is directly pointed at you, Mr. Bill Belichick, Mr. 81 and 94 now, without the GOAT and climbing the wrong way. Okay? And I love this shit. I have been waiting. You know this. This is poor bastard. For 3 years, he's been hearing me plead for this, and now finally it's happening. But it took 72-3 in 2 games. I had to watch that for it to happen.
Well, so here's the thing. You have said that for years now.
Years.
And I kind of always thought it was a little bit of bullshit. You know, like I thought you were just kind of being angry for no reason for a while. You know? And then the more gaffes and mistakes and outright blunders that Belichick makes, it's just apparent that you've been right the whole time.
You know what sucks about this, though? I didn't want to be right. I wanted to believe that Bill Belichick was everything that everybody up there thought he was.
That's where I'm going to call you bullshit.
No, I wanted
You
to
love being right.
No, I lost faith in him when he let Brady walk.
Yeah.
That's when I was never doubting Belichick until he opened the door and shoved Brady out of it. From that moment on in 2019, I have questioned everything he's done. Because to me, that was the dumbest thing he ever did. Of all the dumb things he's
done. What really
done.
happened?
They had a conversation. Stephen A. Smith reported this, by the way. He's never backed off this story. His sources are very good because they've never even thought of it. And by the way, Belichick has never refuted it or even tried to. 2 weeks before Brady left, the Patriots, him and Belichick, whenever the season ends every year, they had this tradition. They'd wait a couple weeks till everything, the dust settled, good, bad, or indifferent. And then they'd have a phone call and sit down. And they'd kind of rehash the season and what might go a bad way to work on. Like this is normal what they do. Mm-hmm. So the conversation went like this. Okay, Brady calls him up.
What had happened?
They go 12-4
to the Eagles.
They won the Super Bowl. Then Gronk retired. The running game went from 5 to 16, which by the way that's a significant drop. 5 to 16. If you're a Super Bowl team and you drop, that's a big blow. Mm-hmm. That's like losing half your line. Okay, so Gronk retires. They weren't replacing him. Okay. The running game goes from 5 to 16. Belichick drafts 2 tight ends in that draft. Neither one of them get out of training camp. No one called him on this, by the way. That was the first one. Then he drafts N'Keal Harry instead of Debo, A.J. Brown, and DK Metcalf. And Brady has his worst year statistically in about 13, 14 years.
And so what did they made the playoffs, right?
They made the playoffs. They lost in the first round to Tennessee. The Titans came up and beat them in Foxborough. Brady's last pass in Foxborough was a pick six. And by the way, had they just beaten the Dolphins the week before, they'd have been the 2 seed, had a bye, and not even had played that game. But Belichick's defense.
Hold on, didn't they lose it on a special teams play?
No, they lost it when Fitz-Tragic, as I call him, the journeyman of journeymen.
Did he throw a hail?
He went 75 yards. Tom Brady just took this awful offense and had no weapons. 80 yards for the game-winning touchdown, which should have been. The Pats are up 4. So they got to score a touchdown. This all-world top 5 defense, Belichick's baby, all the money went there again, couldn't stop Ryan fucking Fitzpatrick. And the Miami Dolphins in December, a place Miami does not want to be, like we don't want to be down there in September, they don't want to be in Foxborough in December. He went 75 yards in the Foxborough wind against that defense like he was Joe Montana and scored the game-winning touchdown with 7 seconds left, which cost the Patriots the 2 seed a bye. Oh, and here comes Mike Vrabel, A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry, and the very, very physical Tennessee Titans. And the Pats were winning most of that game, but they ran out of juice and they lost it in the final quarter because they had no weapons. But they had a bye and not seen him. And Belichick gets a pass for that. Still to this day.
Okay, so at the end of that season,
Brady calls Belichick 2 weeks later. They start to go over the season, and Brady just basically falls on the sword and goes, look, Julian's getting all these banged up. Gronk's gone. We need help. The defense was good enough to win it. We weren't, but we need help. I got one guy out there. And our offensive line, Edelman. But he was getting old. He was getting beat up. Right. And he was right about that, too, because the next year Edelman got knocked out for the season in the sixth game. So Brady called that one. He said, we need help. Julian's taking too much of a pound. He won't last like this. And he's the only weapon I got right now in the passing game. From that moment on, apparently Belichick goes off on a 17 to 20-minute tirade. He blasts Brady.
Really?
He blames Brady for everything that went wrong on offense. Not trusting N'Keal Harry. Have you seen N'Keal Harry lately? Oh, neither have I. You know why? He's unfucking employed. Okay, you know why? Because he fucking sucks. Okay, he's been on 3 teams since the Patriots. He can't lie. He can't even hold a job. So Tom Brady knew then this guy was garbage. Okay, and he wasn't wrong about that one either. Bill. Okay,
Billy boy.
So he trashes Brady for about 17 to 20 minutes, and that was the last conversation they had for over a year.
A year.
Over a year until they spoke again. Over a year. Okay?
How? So he left?
This is what happened. 2 days later, he shows up at Robert Kraft's house unannounced.
Who does, Brady?
Brady. Doesn't tell him, he didn't call him, just shows up. Doesn't tell Belichick, goes over and tells Kraft he's done. I can't work with this man anymore. I'm done. I'm out of here. And Kraft let him go. Kraft didn't even because Kraft was monetized by this fucking savant, and because Bill would always tell him, Bill, this is on Kraft as much as it is Belichick. Okay,
that is a
but Kraft says Bill has this thing about getting rid of players a year early rather than a year late, and most of the time he's proven right. The exceptions were Vinatieri, Ty Law, Brady, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer. There's a pattern there, Bill or Robert Kraft.
And your last Hall of Famer is maybe the greatest Hall of Famer ever.
He's the greatest everything here. Right, so, and in a bad year, by the way, with one weapon, Tom Brady had a 4-1 touchdown interception ratio, and he threw for over 4,000 yards with that hot mess of garbage. Okay, Cam Newton comes in the next year, basically the same offense, doesn't do anything near what Brady does. Cam Newton, who's a league MVP,
poor Cam Newton,
who was 30 years older than his prime,
but he didn't have an arm when he got to New England. His shoulder was done.
He was 30 years old.
He had shoulder injuries. Yeah. He couldn't throw the ball.
I know, but Belichick went after him. Another blunder. Okay, the bottom line is this: every move this man has made, from the time, I mean, it hurts every time I think about it because they're just monumental fuck ups. It's like my son is running the team. Hey, we should bring Mr. Patricia guy. He was kind of cool, Dad. We think we should get him to run the offense.
See, that's the tough part. Is like you could literally drop 4 right now that I couldn't choose which was the worst.
Which is the worst one?
That's how bad.
How bad they all are.
You let the greatest player
ever
of the game go,
who wasn't done.
So that's a no-brainer, right? That's the worst.
You think?
However, then you hire the worst special teams coach I've ever seen. A bad D coordinator to not only be on your offensive minds, but to mold your young quarterback.
Your second-year quarterback?
that you've got a lot invested in.
And this is, everybody has been saying, Jeff Saturday, God love you, the most crucial year for an NFL quarterback is year 2, from year 1 to year 2. He already knew he was going to get a new offense because McDaniels took the head coach job. Okay, but you got to give him a proven offensive. You don't just gamble on 2 idiots because you're their friends and you need to do them a favor and you at the sacrifice of your fucking quarterback.
So now that's the worst one. But hang on, there's more. There's
a lot more.
And going into a Super Bowl, you sit one of your best defensive players.
A hero of another Super Bowl.
Not because...
Who's a Pro Bowl cornerback.
Pro Bowl cornerback. Not because, I don't know. Not because of a good reason, but because of an argument.
With Matt Patricia.
And pettiness.
With Matt Patricia, of all people.
You sit him, and then you give up record-breaking passing numbers.
80. Here's the
in
number.
a Super Bowl.
Here's the
to
number.
A backup quarterback.
Here's the number, America.
80? Don't I sound like you?
Yes, 86%. 86% third down conversion. A Super Bowl record by who? Who was the quarterback?
Nick Foles. And you turn Doug Peterson into one of the best coaches of all time.
Literally, yeah. Yeah, he looks like a genius. And all you did was bench your best fucking... Well, you're fucking kidding. It's unbelievable. And by the way, here's the best part. Brady threw for a Super Bowl record 505 yards.
It's embarrassing.
And they still couldn't win because of your fuck up. But he gets a pass for that too. And by the way, Brady's last year, he drafted N'Keal Harry. Oh, wait, when he said he could get worse, he wasn't kidding. N'Keal Harry over, Ready America, let me say it again for the slow people, Deebo Samuel. Have you seen this guy lately? DK Metcalf, he's like a Greek statue. And A.J. Brown, Philly's number 1 right now, who's
Tennessee's number 1.
Tennessee's number 1 with that. Bill Belichick could have had any one of those 3, but he didn't want to pay him, have to pay him. So he goes and gets this freaking big, slow stiff from the Pac-10. Who has been on 4 rosters and can't stay on any of them.
Jeez.
And then he blasts Brady for not trusting him. Brady was proven right on that too. And then, 2 years ago, there was the NFL record. 175 million, baby.
What did they call it? Scorched earth.
Louis Riddick called it scorched earth. Should have been called scorched bank account. Okay, scorched
butt crack.
I'll tell you what that was all of Robert Kraft's money in 72 hours, and this is what came out of this.
Yes.
Okay, Matt Judon. Okay, that's where it ends. Okay, Nelson Aguilar, Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, and Kendrick Bourne.
Nobody knows those.
No one knows who those people are if you didn't watch this show. Right. Okay? Total Pro Bowls offensively, 0. Offensive 1,000-yard receivers, 0. 100-yard catches, 0. Nada. Nil. Okay? $175 million in 72 hours, and that is the garbage he spent it on. That is a fireable offense, Tom. What GM would have survived a mess like that? You name me one fucking GM in this league that would have set a record in 3 days and brought back that pile of shit. That's like if you're married and you tell your wife,
I introduce you, David Gettleman.
Yeah,
he would have.
This is
David Dr. Gettleman.
This is like the 20-year anniversary present, and the wife's all excited. Okay, and you pull in with like a flat screen TV so you and your buddies can watch football in the garage. Women will understand that one, okay? That's what that's like.
Is this a 1980s commercial?
I'm just saying, that's the equivalent of that disappointment. Okay, and if you're a football fan, you're like, where the fuck did all the money go? How do you take all that money and this is the shit you come back with? And by the way,
I'd now like to introduce the 2023 New York Mets.
That's true. And then he'll spend all that money on this garbage, but he won't spend $15 million on a Hall of Fame receiver. Who, by the way, had
DeAndre
Hopkins, who, by the way, this week had more passing yards than the entire Patriots offense by himself.
Yeah.
He had 7 catches for $122 on Sunday. Mac Jones threw for 110.
Oh, jeez.
How stupid is Bill fucking Belichick?
Dude, think about all the.
This doesn't even sound like I'm talking about a real person. It sounds made up, doesn't it, America? It sounds like I'm making it up.
Think about the different players they wouldn't sign that could have helped the team. Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook?
Not that he's been great.
Well, because the Jets have no line, but Sure, Bill O'Brien could have found. Bill O'Brien's a better coordinator than those guys. He could have found a better way to use him. I mean, especially since he can catch the ball. He could be a threat in the passing game. Something the Pats sorely need, Bill. Yeah, you wouldn't spend $8 million on him.
Is Stevenson a pass catcher?
No. He can catch, but he's not Dalvin Cook.
Right.
Dalvin Cook is like what Saquon was last year. He can go out of the backfield and run a slant and take it to the house.
He runs the little wheel.
Yeah, he can do all that shit like Saquon and like a couple other guys like McCaffrey and shit. But no, let's not get him either, Bill. Let's not. Whatever you do, Bill, don't help your franchise
DeAndre
quarterback.
Hopkins would help a guy.
Oh my God, badly.
Because he's the guy you can throw it up to.
Exactly.
Like he's not
like what you said off air about what Devontae Adams did last night. Right. And that ball wasn't perfect, but he went out because he's a playmaker. He's a one though, and that's what ones do. Yeah. Okay, and Hopkins is like that.
And that's why Hopkins could get yards with Kyler Murray or Kyler Murray's backup or Colt McCoy's backup. It doesn't matter.
And not only that, here's the true thing about a number one. Okay, a number one makes the number 2, the number 3, the number 4, and the number 5 all better. You know why? Because the entire coverage changes because of him. Yeah.
Well, look at Jacoby Myers on the Raiders.
Yeah. Not a great move, Bill. Thanks, Tom. Kick him in when he's down.
Well, but
we got a one-legged Juju Smith-Schuster
the problem is,
who can't get open if my freaking Charlie Brown line is covering it.
Look, but the problem is, well, y'all had Jacoby Myers. There was no number 1, so Jacoby Myers got lost. With Devontae Adams on the other side, Jacoby Myers looks really good.
Imagine if he was here with DeAndre Hopkins.
You might have a team.
You might have a threat. You might be a threat.
Right.
And those tight ends might look a lot better too.
You might be able to overcome that offensive line.
You might be able to. You get the ball in 2 seconds. I mean,
you might not have been down by 30 to Dallas, leaving in Judon for no reason.
Yeah, 31.
That's the
other one.
Jesus Christ!
So it's like everywhere we turn, there's a bad Belichick move.
Literally, if we put them all out, it would be hard to pick.
If I sent that in an email to Robert Kraft, I guarantee you Belichick is fired tomorrow.
You don't think he knows
He's
it?
Fired. Oh, he knows it. He just can't fire him right now. Or Kenny.
And I've said this for a while.
Or Kenny.
This was the first time I heard you say it tonight, that a lot, like just as much of that Brady decision is on Kraft as it was on.
It is.
I've never heard you say
But the reason is because Kraft trusted Belichick.
He trusted the wrong
He made
person.
one mistake. He trusted a guy. Look, he bought into it like the rest of us did. This guy's a guru. This guy's a genius. This guy is lucky as fuck that the late great Dick Rabine talked him into that 6th round pick from Michigan. But that's what he was.
But that's
at the end of the day, that's what he was.
Kraft was around Belichick and Brady. How in all those years, and it seemed like he was close with Brady
because he believed in Belichick's philosophy of letting a player go a year early rather than a year late. He didn't want to see Brady limp to the finish line. But again, he felt that way because Belichick talked him into that.
But my
thing didn't know.
But my thing is, if either of us were running a team and we got to witness that greatness for 20 years.
20 years.
With either one, honestly, with either one of them. Like, with either one of them, it would be hard to say goodbye to him. But to watch that quarterback do what he did for 20 years.
No matter who you put around him.
Right.
No matter who he had.
And the way
it didn't matter.
The way he handled the media.
Yeah.
The way
he never said the wrong thing.
The way he handled Belichick's bullshit.
Oh, God, he took that like a champ.
And at the end, you go, Tom, I love you, but this is my architect.
Yeah.
No.
If it wasn't for Tom, that architect would be fucking on the street sweeping it.
Right.
Okay. And the thing is, here's the thing. I agree with Belichick's theory and principle that it's better to get rid of a player a year early rather than a year late.
Without a doubt.
Here's my problem with this, and I've said it to him before. There's an exception to every rule. And if you're looking at that exception for 20 fucking years, the light doesn't go off that, you know what, look, the rules don't apply to this guy.
Yeah.
Because he's not that
I'd
guy.
rather be like this guy.
I'd rather be, because by the way, had Belichick gone back and done that, who would have questioned him?
Exactly.
Who would have said, well, wait a minute, he's like everybody. Oh, no, he's not like everybody else. Right. He's the reason there is everybody else.
Nobody would have been there going, they should have gotten rid of him.
Nobody would have questioned that decision had he done it. Because they would have said what I just said. Well, look, there's an exception to every rule. And if I'm Bill Belichick and I get in front of a microphone, I would tell people that. Because you're not lying.
Dude, but it's also like this. Like, even beyond there's an exception to the rule. When a player does that for you, I mean, he changed the trajectory
Tom
of the
Brady
New England
turned
Patriots
Bill Belichick into the greatest coach ever. And
he
took the worst franchise in the sport, arguably. And we almost lost him to St. Louis, by the way.
He turned them into an empire.
An empire. Yep. Robert Kraft.
If you're that guy and you're getting old, I'll give you a year.
I'll give you a year.
You could suck for
Shit, the Lakers let Kobe retire a Laker.
Exactly.
I mean, Kobe's not Tom Brady.
Exactly.
Okay.
But
Shit, Kobe's not Michael Jordan.
But Kobe was one of those few exceptions.
The Bulls didn't let Michael Jordan do it either, which was dumb. And by the way, that was the dumbest move they ever made.
Because they had an asshole GM.
They also GM. And they've never recovered from that either, by the way. So, no, look, you're right. And I'm saying, and this is why I get mad at Belichick, because this was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
This was a no-brainer.
It wasn't a tough decision.
It wasn't a tough decision, and everyone would have understood it. And it wouldn't have compromised your principles, because you could say, look, when you win 6 Super Bowls, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly.
Okay? And he'd have been right on that. And no one would have called him on it. No one. Not the Washington Post, not the New York Post, not the Boston Globe. None of these pricks would have said a thing. Because they looked like idiots if they said it.
There probably would have been some assholes, but...
And they would have looked like assholes.
Yeah, exactly.
Because everyone would have been like, duh. How many rings has he got again? More than you, dickhead.
Did you just give a yabba dabba doo?
A dabba doo ba 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 ba.
All right, we just gave 30 minutes to those.
Yeah, well, what we're going to do is we're going to give 30 minutes to the Giants.
I don't think we need it.
I'll tell you what, we'll give you whatever you want to. We're just going to take a quick break so we can break it up. So you're gonna have the whole floor.
I don't need it that much.
I want people watch this.
You want to
I want to break it quick and then come back on.
Cool.
So we're just gonna get a drink. We're right back. Segment 2. We're gonna see what we know. The Pats are a train wreck. Let's talk about the other train wreck. And I want his thoughts on what he thinks, what is realistic in terms of what they can do during the season and what they need to do after it. We'll talk about that. Segment 2. Token Back Thursday. The Redoubtable High Question. We will see you very, 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 very soon.
Token Back. That's a combo between Tip 'em back and Token.
He figured that out, America. See, that's why he is not the best color man league for nothing, boys and girls.